The initial text makes reference to how in 1969, the U.S. Naval Force laid out a school for military pilots. It is authoritatively alluded to as Contender Weapons School, yet the enlisted people refer to it as Top Firearm. We see a few volunteers and Naval Force men on the boats where the pilots take off or make their profits. Commander Pete, freethinker, Mitchell Tom Voyage rides his bike to a base where he is set for a scramjet flight exhibition. However, he is informed that back Chief Naval Officer Chester, Sledge, Kane Ed Harris is en route to close the program down to divert reserves somewhere else. Not feeling prevented, Nonconformist takes the stream similarly as Kane shows up, and he flies it very high, taking it past its unique Mach 9 projection and hitting Mach 10, to the enjoyment of the team. Notwithstanding, Nonconformist attempts to take it quicker and winds up destroying the fly, however he figures out how to launch in time. Kane berated Freethinker for his activities, however while he needs to have Dissident grounded, Kane rather illuminates him that he has been gotten back to Nas North Island by his previous opponent associate, Chief Naval Officer Tom, Iceman, Kazansky, Val Kilmer. Dissident heads to the base to meet Bad Habit Chief Naval Officer Playmate, Typhoon, Simpson, John Hamm, and back Chief Naval Officer Solomon, Warlock, Bates Charles Parnell. Twister clarifies that he doesn't find in Freethinker anything Ice finds in him, yet he educates Dissident regarding the job needing to be done. A rebel country is activity a uranium office, and Freethinker should train another gathering of volunteers to figure out how to come to the base and bomb it. Freethinker goes to a bar where he reunites with Penny Benjamin, Jennifer Connolly, an ex that he left some time prior, which irritated her Chief of Naval Operations father. She bears no hostility toward Dissident, however she winds up making him pay around for everybody at the bar. At similar bar, the new class of pilots are there to drink. Among them is superstar Jake, executioner, Saracen Glenn Powell, who sees himself as the probably going to lead the new class. There is likewise Natasha, Phoenix, Follow, Monica Barbaro, Robert, Sway, Floyd, Lewis Pullman, Ruben, Restitution, Fitch J. Ellis and Mickey, Fanboy, Garcia, Danny Ramirez. Entering minutes after the fact is Bradley, Chicken, Bradshaw, Miles Teller, child of Nonconformist's late dearest companion Goose. After Freethinker's card declines, Penny has Executioner and Compensation energetically toss Nonconformist out. Outside, Freethinker watches Chicken playing the piano and is helped to remember Goose, yet Nonconformist actually feels culpability over Goose's passing. Nonconformist later meets with the pilots to present himself and go over the mission. Since the office is found profound at the lower part of a gully, Nonconformist's arrangement to take it out includes having two planes obliterate the entry to the office prior to stirring things up around town itself. A portion of the pilots aren't installed, similar to Executioner. Chicken hates Nonconformist since he pulled Chicken's application and hampered his vocation by 4 years. Nonconformist then happens with the dogfight practices with the pilots, flaunting his abilities to play with the more youthful team. The pilots that bomb their activities are compelled to do push-ups. Later on, Executioner finds Chicken's association with Dissident. Nonconformist returns to the bar to take care of Penny what he owes her. He then, at that point, goes through the midday on her boat with her, and there is obviously still a flash between them. In the following round of activities, Dissident makes sense of for the pilots about how they might lose oxygen and awareness assuming they fly too high, help them to remember how high and low they should go when they complete their central goal. During the activity, Chicken is displayed to use a more careful methodology in his flying. Executioner raises Dissident's companionship with Goose, which incites Chicken into almost going after Executioner, however different pilots split them up. Ice demands Freethinker go visit him. He is experiencing throat malignant growth and can principally convey through a PC. Nonconformist communicates his anxiety over working with Chicken, expecting that something will happen to him like with Goose. Ice lets him know he should work intimately with Chicken, and he figures out how to address Nonconformist and let him know that the youthful pilots need him more than he understands. Twister ventures out onto the runway to observe that no one is there. He tracks down that Nonconformist brought the pilots over to the ocean side to play football as a holding exercise, which seems to work since they are having some good times. Dissident later goes out with Penny and tells her that he pulled Chicken's application since his mom requested that Freethinker care for him before she died. The pilots then go through a preparation exercise to strike the objective at a specific height and in a specific measure of time. Everybody neglects to finish the job on a case-by-case basis, with Phoenix expecting to launch before her stream crashes. Dissident reprimands Chicken for how he handles his activity, prompting them quarreling about Freethinker blocking Chicken's flying vocation. They are interfered with when Warlock comes in to illuminate them that Ice has passed on. A memorial service is held for him days after the fact, with Freethinker, Penny, and different pilots in participation. Twister chooses to take over educational obligations from Nonconformist. At the point when he proposes an elective arrangement, different pilots appear to address him. Outside, the radars identify Dissident flying his fly to finish the activity, where he can fire at the objective on the ground barely in time, dazzling every one of the pilots, including Executioner. The mission is completed, with Freethinker picking Chicken as his partner, and being joined by Executioner, Phoenix, Fanboy, Recompense, and Sway. They fly toward the office, with their close-by plane-carrying warship terminating long-range weapons at the base to obliterate the runway, causing adversary planes to scramble back toward the objective. They figure out how to send off a rocket and obliterate the office, yet the foe sends more pilots after them. The pilots begin to fly back, yet Nonconformist's fly is taken shots at, making him crash. Chicken pivots and goes to save Nonconformist. A chopper starts discharging at Dissident while he is walking, yet Chicken kills it, not long before his own stream is destroyed, yet he figures out how to launch himself in time. Freethinker and Chicken rejoin and devise an arrangement to leave. They spot a F-14 Tomcat and assume command over it. They begin to take off and are sought after by foe jets, prompting a dogfight. Albeit Nonconformist figures out how to take two of them out with shots and flares, they run out of weaponry similarly as a third fly comes their direction. Chicken is likewise unfit to discharge himself, so the two acknowledge that they are going to kick the bucket until Executioner comes through and annihilates the last stream. Nonconformist and Chicken successfully return to the transporter, where their team salutes them. Chicken and Executioner have a freshly discovered regard for each other, while Chicken ganders at Dissident the same way his dad checked him out. Chicken aids Dissident work on AP-51 Colt in Nonconformist shelter. Penny appears, and Freethinker takes her for a trip in his plane. Chicken puts down a photograph of himself and Freethinker right close to a more established photograph of Nonconformist and Goose. Skipper Pete, Freethinker, Mitchell has gotten back to his old flight school to prepare a more youthful gathering of pilots to take determined to obliterate a uranium office. Making things trying for Nonconformist is that one of the pilots is Bradley, Chicken, Bradshaw, child of Freethinker's late closest companion Goose, who was killed during a flight workout. Notwithstanding clashes between the pilots, including Chicken and a presumptuous pilot called Executioner, Nonconformist can make a connection between them. After his previous adversary, Associate Iceman, bites the dust, the group is prepared to do the mission after their broad activities. They prevail with regards to obliterating the office, yet Dissident is shot somewhere near the adversary. Chicken returns for him however has chance down subsequent to saving Freethinker. They discover a F-14 Tomcat and fly it. They get into a dogfight with other foe pilots and are eventually saved by Executioner when they run out of ammunition. Chicken and Executioner foster a recently discovered regard for one another, and Chicken has a superior relationship with Dissident. Dissident likewise reconnects with a former sweetheart, Penny.